thousands of Americans trapped in a war zone, flights canceled, and the government tells them exercise caution? How does the Trump administration justify leaving citizens stranded while chaos spreads across the Middle East?
Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So on February 28th, Donald Trump launched his war against Iran. By March 1st, Iranian strikes had hit at least 6 surrounding countries. But all the Trump administration said to Americans in the region was exercise caution. On March 2nd, the State Department finally told Americans in over a dozen countries to evacuate, but gave no real guidance on how to do that. As thousands of flights were canceled, the State Department initially told Americans to, quote, not rely on the U.S. government for assistance, departure, or evacuation. Let's be clear. The Trump administration chose this war. They planned this war for months, and they made no plans to safeguard hundreds of thousands of Americans in the region. There is no excuse for this. And I just want to draw a comparison here. In 2006, the State Department requested support from DOD just 2 days into the war in Lebanon. Transcom arranged ships, commercial charter, and military flights for nearly 15,000 Americans. So, General Reed, let me ask you, if the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Defense asked Transcom for help to evacuate Americans, would you provide that support?
Senator, I would.
Thank you. So, General Reed, we're almost 2 weeks into this war. Have Secretary Rubio and State Department made any requests for Transcom to help evacuate Americans out of the Middle East?
Senator, on the 28th of February, the Department of State made a request to my department for that, and we have provided some assistance.
So you're saying they made that request back on February 28th?
Yes, Senator.
So when we called them yesterday, they said they had not asked you for assistance. Can you explain why that would be so?
Senator, I cannot explain that.
I just don't understand this. And you have been helping them all this time?
Senator, what we have done is through Central Command have responded to the request for the State Department to provide airlift at locations that they have specified.
And how much have you airlifted in this period of time? How many people?
Senator, I'll have to get that number for you for the record.
Can you give me a rough idea?
Senator, it's been in the hundreds.
Hundreds, not in the thousands.
That's correct. But I will say that as we continue to watch the situation, there have been other flights and other opportunities for American citizens to get out of the way. Some of that has been by ground transportation, and some of it has been by commercial charters by the State Department.
Are you saying you're not doing more because you think that Americans who are in the region are currently being adequately served by commercial flights and private vehicles out of the region? Is that what you're saying?
Senator, what I'm saying is we have responded to requests for specific tasks in conjunction with the commercial flights and what Transcom is providing. There are a number of ways to get our citizens out of harm's way.
Okay, and what I'm trying to understand is why you're not doing more, because I'm hearing from my constituents who are stranded there, who've been stranded there for 2 weeks, and they're asking for help, and they're not getting help from the U.S. government. And you're telling me that you're not helping because you think they've got plenty of other ways to get out of the region? Or is it that Secretary Rubio is not asking you for that help? I just want to understand who bears responsibility here.
Senator, it is the responsibility of all to care for the citizens that we have in harm's way. And as we receive a tasking and the opportunities to do that, Transcom is responding.
Okay, so my constituents and other Americans who are trapped in the region are trapped there because Secretary Rubio is not asking you for help. Is that right? I just want to understand what's happening.
We've been asked for help, and we're available to do that. And so as we are able and the conditions permit with CENTCOM, we are involved in all the coordination to meet our citizens where we can get to them and then transport them to safety.
So you have provided all the help you've been asked for. You just haven't been asked for more help. Is that right?
Senator, we have been tasked, and we have responded to each of those tasks.
Look, I understand military speak here, But I don't understand how it is that we could get 15,000 people evacuated shortly after the war in Lebanon, and now we've still got thousands, tens of thousands of people trapped in the region. And I'm not understanding what your answer is here, and I don't think the American people are either.
Thank you, Senator Warren. General Reed, has the State Department contacted you in this regard to ask for help?
The State Department has, just as they did in the response to Lebanon as well. During that time, there were provisions to get people out by sea lift and charter, and so the amount of people who left with Transcom help as well as State Department charter.
Thank you very much, Senator Pete.
This isn't just a foreign policy failure, it's a failure of leadership. Tens of thousands of Americans abroad were left to fend for themselves while the administration ignored clear, actionable solutions. Military resources were ready, but direction never came. This is what happens when planning takes a backseat to political theater.